What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Macho Movie Madness.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Brandon. Alongside me always is Andrew. And today on Versus, we've got Firewalker versus Romancing the Stone. So today we decided to step away from the action sci-fi that we normally do and the horror that we normally do, and we're doing some comedy mixed in with some action here. These are kind of Indiana Jones ripoffs, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're in that vein. Romancing the Stone, actually, the script actually kind of precedes Indiana Jones.
It does. It does. It's like 70s, I believe.
Yeah, 79.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that here in a little bit, but yeah, it's kind of seen in that light as one of these knockoffs.
Yeah. You've got kind of a action romantic comedy in one, and then you've got elements of romance, but mostly just kind of best duo, like buddy cop almost, like, but they're treasure hunters. But Firewalker, Chuck Norris, Lou Gossett Jr., and then you've got
there's Firewalker right there.
Yes, yeah, badass cover. I put that up on our background there. Then you've got Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner on the other side with Romancing the Stone. Really cool.
And in true Andrew fashion, I threw that one away.
Oh, yeah. Andrew never keeps his DVD covers or his cases or anything like that. Firewalker was a Canon film directed by J. Lee Thompson. Came out in 1986, 2 years after Romancing the Stone. Romancing the Stone was 84, and it was directed by Robert Zemeckis.
Little guy named Robert Zemeckis.
Just a little guy. You've probably heard of a couple films he's done. Back to the Future, Forrest Gump, which of course those were much later. This was before that. This is the year before Back to the Future, Part 1. But yeah, very, very nice career there. Turns out for him.
J. Lee Thompson was a big guy for Canon. He did a lot of the Charles Bronson films. Yeah. So I hold him in pretty high regard. He did like Murphy's Law, 10 to Midnight. Some of the later Death Wish films. So
yeah,
he had a pretty good smaller scale career.
Yeah, well, that's kind of Canon in a nutshell.
Yeah.
One of those. It's like the Canon group just love their movies, but yeah,
And this was a time when they put out, I believe they put out like 59 or 60 movies.
Yes.
In the calendar year 1986, which you've got your own movies competing against each other at that point. So I just don't understand the marketing there.
Well, it's kind of like Lionsgate there was for a little bit. Lionsgate seemed like they were pumping out just shit like left and right, and like, why? I didn't get a budget for Firewalker. But I know that the box office total was about 11.8 mil, or maybe a little bit over.
Yeah.
So it did okay. I'm assuming it didn't cost that much to make this film.
Yeah, I'm saying it probably cost about half that to do what they did.
That's what I'm thinking. So, all right, but I think it was considered a flop, though, considering it said it was compared to other Chuck Norris films, even.
Yeah. It
was considered more of a flop, but it's really, really charming film. It's a good little film. It's fun. It's got some good comedy, and we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. Romancing the Stone, however, I did get a budget for it. It cost $10 million to make in 1984 and made $115.1 million. So you could definitely say Romancing the Stone's a much larger film, but we put them up together because just the kind of movies they are. They're very similar in the way they are. So, do you want to run down, Andrew, the stories for both? I mean, they're pretty simple.
Yeah.
They're very similar to a point.
Yeah. In Firewalker, you've got Chuck Norris and Lou Gossett Jr. They're Max and Leo, and I love this duo here. And after one of their treasure hunts goes awry, they meet this girl in this bar, Patricia, and she has this map, and she takes them all the way to Central America. They're looking for this Aztec gold. And along the way, there's all this Native American mysticism going on, and this Indian man trying to stop them. Played by Billy from Predator. It's amazing. Yeah. And I don't think I'm leaving too much out. That's basically the plot for Firewalker. In Romancing the Stone, Kathleen Turner plays Joan Wilder, and she is a romance novelist. And these guys, these goons, have basically ransomed her sister, kidnapped her, and ransomed her. And she's supposed to go down to Central America and give them this money. And along the way, she runs into Jack Colton, played by Michael Douglas. And plans change, and he helps her to go get the sister back and find this treasure. And they're both really fun movies.
Yeah, they are. I agree. So I guess without further ado, let's get into these categories here. So we've got story. This is mostly normal categories for us here. We got story, setting, and acting. We decided to do action comedy together on this one, just because there's a fair amount of both in both movies. And then for the last category, usually we changed it up somewhat. Today we're going best villains for these movies, because every one of these movies have to have a villain.
Yeah.
So we're doing that. We've got Kenny's picks. I guess if there's nothing more to say, you want to get started?
Yeah.
Okay. First up is story. Did you write Kenny's picks down? I'll go ahead and get those down real quick, actually.
I'll go ahead and give my pick for story while you're doing that.
Okay, go right ahead.
For story, I think it's really close between the two, so I really had to look at the little nuances in the story. And I think Romancing the Stone's a little bit tighter of a story than Firewalker. Yeah. There's some egregious stuff in Firewalker where they're at the end, wherever Leo, he just disappears. He's there at the river's edge and he's gone. Just kind of for a plot device, for them to go and save him later on. There's some stuff there with John Rhys Davies, his character of Corky, where they put the people in danger, the characters you care about, and it all turns out as kind of a ruse. He had them, kidnapped so they could all party, and I thought that was a little bit thin. Romancing the Stone has some, a few thin things in it as well, but I thought the overall package was a little bit tighter with Romancing the Stone.
Yeah, I agree with that. I went romancing on that too. So I do like Firewalker's story. Like you said, there are some egregious things in both. Definitely in Firewalker, especially at the end. It's funny. I don't know if you could get away with making Firewalker now with all the Native American diatribe in there. Like, you've got a lot of, as much as I actually like this. Like, I like the old Indian magic, and I love, but it's just it just seems so stereotypical now. Not that it offends me, but it's just so funny to go back and watch these movies from the 80s and 90s, and anytime you have something this going on, you've always got Indians. They're always you got Native Americans, however you want to say it. They're always tracking something. They're always giving wisdom to the protagonists, or helping them along. They've always got some kind of ritualistic shit going on, whether it be magic or peyote or whatever it is. It's some very stereotypical stuff. And I do love that, actually.
I like how they turned that on its head in this one, though. Tall Eagle's watching I Love Lucy. And like if she was mine, I'd cut off her nose or something.
They really kind of made fun of it a little bit, which I did like. Tall Eagle. He said something else too at the end when they walked out. Yeah. I don't even remember now, but it was pretty funny. Like, he made some kind of a funny quip, and it was related to a TV show, because you could tell he's just into sitting at his little trailer or whatever watching TV.
But I like when they take those typically mystical characters and they bring them down to earth and make them like normal.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because he's like he played up the Native American mystical shit with them, and then he would just kind of break character almost, and just this is it's this is what they expect me to do, so I'm going to do it. Yeah. And I'm going to get something out of it. But when they walk away, I'm totally going to make fun of them for
right.
Yeah. And then on the Romancing the Stone, and the only thing I had a problem with story-wise was the very beginning, the setup, and you don't really have to have anything explained. Like, her sister that was ransomed, her husband was killed and chopped up into pieces, basically, and that's what. So I'm guessing he got a hold of this map. I guess you can kind of just put pieces together yourself, because they never really explained it.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing that the main villain came and ransacked her apartment. He came up there because he knew about this map, and that's what he was after. So you can kind of put those pieces together. But at first you don't know why what the dead brother-in-law was into. You don't know how he got it. You don't know how he obtained it. Like, so it didn't really kind of explain a whole lot when you first started. You just kind of had to put those pieces together, and it wasn't that hard to put together, but it would have been kind of, because at first you're like, why is this happening? Why is this romance novelist getting caught up in this shit and being told to go down here?
Yeah,
because you really don't know, and even then you don't. The poor sister really was just a wife, like, just that was ransomed. She just had nothing to do with anything. Like, she didn't know shit.
Yeah.
Like it was just weird.
I like how they have these bad guys. We'll get into that, into villains a little bit too. But how you had Ralph and Ira. You know, Ralph played by Danny DeVito, and you know you think they're the bad guys, but they're not really the bad guys.
They're bad, but they're not. They're just really small time. Like they're ancient artifact antique smugglers. That's what they are. They're just kind of goofballs.
I like how they were integrated into the story.
Yeah, they were just kind of there to set up the real bad guy, and it's kind of funny because you've got they're just kind of scum smugglers, and then on the other end, the real bad guy has actually got military police.
Yeah,
like he's technically not supposed to be a bad guy, but he is. He's got his own private military, but he's the butcher. Yeah, so I think that it was kind of a nice element to have real bad guys that are going after both the bad guys who are caught up in the middle of this and the good guys. And then you've got Jack, who is kind of not a good guy himself.
Not really.
Like he's a bird smuggler or whatever. Like he's just like he's not really a good guy, but he's not a bad guy. It's just so funny. Yeah, I went romancing. Just to make a long story short, Kenny picked Firewalker.
Yeah, which I've got no fault in that either. Firewalker's a fun film. It just, to me, it had a couple of little things there that I was like, huh?
And I didn't stay on the mark. I finally got story up here for everybody to see, but it was late going. Well, I'll try and keep up with it this time. I'm bad at it. Let's go on to setting. So for setting, I picked romancing, but I'm not sold on it yet.
Yeah.
I wrote romancing now, but I don't know. They're both
actually shot in Mexico.
They both are.
Both of these movies, all the locations.
You know, you've got more desert stuff in Firewalker, where Romance and Stones is just very, very much jungle.
Yeah.
You do have some villages and such in there. Romancing probably seems like it's better just because there's more money involved there. There's more locations. I feel like just because it's such a bigger scaled film, you have to almost go that route. Yeah. I don't know if it's fair. Maybe it just kind of comes down to preference.
I'm actually going Firewalker. I really like that set there at the end where they're in that tomb, you know, and he's got Leo strung up there, the cave or whatever they're in.
Yeah,
I like the train and everything that goes on there, and I'll talk about that when we get to comedy.
Yeah.
The beginning scene in the desert, there's just a huge variety of different settings in Firewalker, and I think that's why I chose it. I don't think it's, you know, quite as big in scope, like you said, as Romancing the Stone.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the variety of settings there, that bar that they have that iconic fight in with Chuck Norris, one of his best action scenes ever.
Yes.
So yeah, I have to go Firewalker on that one.
I'll go Firewalker on that. I think I'll change to Firewalker. I agree. Yeah. It's really close. It gets really close for me.
Yeah, there was some cool stuff in Romancing the Stone. I like that whole where they come on that plane wreck and they're burning the marijuana to stay warm.
Yes, that's nice.
That whole set was really, really cool.
Yeah, I agree. And then of course you've got like the town, the local city, and when you get to like the cave or whatever that the stone is in, it's really lackluster compared to like that temple that was in Firewalker too. So yeah, it's like everything else around Romancing the Stone was great getting there, but then when you got there, it wasn't as good as Firewalker. I think Firewalker was more that classic. It's Aztecian, you know, whatever. I like that.
I will say the final shot of Romancing the Stone is so weird. It's just striking. That sailboat going down the streets of New York City.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, it turned into a rom-com right there at the end, like full-blown rom-com right there at the end. That last scene, them kissing and driving off into the distance in the city streets of New York. I'm gonna go Firewalker though. Kenny did pick Romance in the Stone, so that's 1-1 story setting. We got acting next.
Yeah.
I definitely go romancing on this one.
Yeah, I did too.
And I think Kenny did. That was a clean sweep for acting.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Lou Gossett. I love Chuck Norris.
I can't believe we've not covered any of their movies on this channel to this point.
I know we need to. We need to probably do that. Yeah. But I love them. I love them to death. But they're not good. Well, Lou Gossett's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris has never been a good actor to me.
I think he's never passable in this one, but
he's passable in everything. And that's like the reason. Like Chuck Norris has got a presence about him. He's likable. He obviously has a look, and he is a kick-ass martial artist. Like he's really good at what he does. He can throw them roundhouse kicks. Everybody loves Chuck Norris for a reason. Just not a strong actor. Holy shit.
Yeah.
His line delivery is just not good. Romance in the Stone, everybody did amazing in Romance in the Stone. All right, down to the bottom, I think. I mean, I don't think there was any wild, out of place, terrible actors. Even the wild, out of place characters. Actually, there's no wild, out of place characters. There's just some wild characters, but they all fit in there nicely with the comedy.
Yeah.
Juan, by the way, is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he was the one. He was the one with the little mule, right?
Yeah, the little mule, which was like this Ford truck,
Pepe.
Bronco, Pepe, and he is, and I had him. He's Alfonso Areu, is his name, I believe.
Okay,
and he is El Guapo in Three Amigos.
Okay, that makes
sense. And I like, I know I've seen that because that smile is just like so like contagious, and it's like I know that smile. And I looked him up, and he was El Guapo, the bad guy in Three Amigos, always smiling.
Yeah.
And in this movie, he was always smiling, like he didn't get excited about anything. He got excited, but it wasn't like he didn't get angry or mean about anything. Like they were shooting at his truck, and he's like, "Oh man, they're really persistent." But he's just like having fun. But once he figured out she was Joan Wilder, it's like, I read all your books every Saturday, and he was definitely one of the best characters, if not the best character in that movie, I thought.
Yeah.
Just all around fun.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bad acted character in that entire movie.
No.
Yeah, the leads are great. Of course, Danny DeVito's technically a lead in this. He's great as that smarmy, slimy smuggler. Love him in this.
Yes.
I
love the banter between him and his cousin.
Yeah. They have some great stuff there. He chomps up every scene he's in. Like when he's getting out of, or he's there at that jail, he sees his picture hanging up, and he falls over.
He climbs up to rip it off the wall when no one's looking, but then he falls off the counter. Yeah,
like, that had to have been a blast to shoot, and I think that's probably the difference. The budget was 10 times higher. Well, was it 10 times higher? It made 10 times.
I didn't get a budget for Firewalker. Yeah. It was just the budget for Romance in the Stone was 10 mil. So
maybe they didn't. Maybe there was just that much better acting in Romancing the Stone.
I think they was just utilized really well. It was $10 million is a lot of money probably back then to make a movie. I don't know like what some of the really big movies cost, but I mean I'm guessing Firewalker had to be a $2 or $3 million movie.
Yeah. I'm saying at least 5 probably for all the locations. Yeah, in the sets.
Maybe so.
But, on Firewalker's side, the only actor, and I love John Rhys Davies, but I thought his character Corky was just a little bit too over the top.
Yeah.
I kind of shook my head at a scene or two that he was in. Everybody else, I really liked quite a bit.
Let's get into the action comedy. I'm gonna let you pick on this one. I'm gonna let you pick first on this one.
For action comedy, I'm going Firewalker. For one, I think there's more action. It's more like hand-to-hand type action, where they're firing and got all kinds of chases going on in Romancing the Stone. But you've got that iconic bar fight where Leo ends up getting in a fight with this guy. I mean, you talked about it a little bit yesterday with this giant of a
He
man.
looks like the Great Khali almost,
Yeah,
but this
and
big old square jawed looking dude.
He's beating him up, and he's like, "Would you like a little help?" And just the banter back and forth there, the comedy is great.
Well, I think it's funny because he started to pick a fight with Max first.
Yeah,
And with Chuck Norris's character. And so him and Patricia are trying to talk him down. They're just no, because he's saying this stuff in Spanish, and it's like stuff like you're a goat,
your mother's a pig,
your mother's a pig, just stupid childish shit. But he's like, no, he doesn't want to take it. Like he's getting ready to do something, and Lou Goss like, no, hold on a second. Yeah. He's like, let me talk to him. So he steps in, and Chuck Norris Max backs off. So then he says something to Lou, and Lou loses it almost immediately.
Right.
Like immediately. So then he throws the first punch. Here he is trying to talk Max out of fighting, and he ends up throwing the first punch. And then of course he gets in way over his head. Chuck Norris pops a piece of gum in his mouth, sits on the bar. It's not when the big guy starts choking Lou Gossett out. He's like, guess I better do something.
Yeah. As far as the rest of the action, the beginning chase I thought was really good.
Yeah.
The only hole of water in 2,000 miles, and you find it, or something to that effect.
Well, I love what he's trying to guide him. Like, go left here. I told you to go left here. Or whatever. He's like, it's the desert. What difference does it make?
Yeah. The infight there, with Billy from Predator, he's El Coyote in this, the Red Cyclops, and that was a pretty funny line in the beginning when she's like, I got this map, and there's only one issue, and it's a Red Cyclops.
Yeah. Yeah, you find out it's a one-eyed Native American man. I'm like, ooh, red Cyclops.
The one scene in this movie that makes me howl every time I watch it, though, is when they're on that train dressed as priests, and the one guy gets shot because he can't prove his papers.
Yeah, right.
For transportation, and they don't have papers either, and they call them out there, and it's because they want them to give last rites. What do you want me to do? Give them last rites. And so he doesn't pig Latin. Max, this is all your fault, you stupid jerk.
Yeah.
I howl every time I watch that scene in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny because like right after that, the woman's like, I found his papers.
Oh, Padre. He comes back to life.
Yeah. Then the guy's like, these are just superficial wounds or whatever he said, and he's like, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah. But that's why I chose Firewalker. There's a lot of action in Romancing the Stone. Like we said, the whole chase there with the little mule, and
there's a lot of action. There's a lot of gunfire. There's a lot of craziness. It's really close for me.
I love the mudslide scene where they're going down the hill, and he falls face first between her legs.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes. Yeah. Woo. The stuff at the end, the shootout at the end, the stuff with the Gators was good.
Yeah.
And Danny DeVito's cousin, I can't remember his damn name. There's Ira. Ira, and I can't remember what's Danny's name.
Ralph.
Ralph and Ira. So Ira is obsessed with these Gators, and he's just, man, look at those snappers. And he says that multiple times throughout the movie. Look at those snappers.
That'll get you slapped where I come from.
Yeah. Yeah, some people go to prison for that. No, anyway. Really close for me. I'd probably pick Romancing, just edge it out. But you guys make good points, and it doesn't matter anyway. You both pick Firewalker. Kenny picked Firewalker, so that takes that. We're now tied up 2-2. So I guess we're going best villains here. This is good. This is it. This is a tiebreaker. And I don't think there's going to be an actual tie here. I really don't, because we did not all pick the same thing. I know that much. Which I guess it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't be a tiebreaker anyway. What do you got for villain?
For villain, I went El Coyote and Firewalker. He's a little more menacing. He's able. That one scene's kind of strange, where he sends that girl to the room. He puts it's a snake up there in the rafters, and it's a girl that tries to kill Chuck Norris, using spells and magic and stuff. But he just seems like a more menacing villain when they have that fight there at the end, and him and that laugh. When he was Billy and Predator, that laugh is just wild.
The laugh was good. Laugh was good. I ended up picking Romancing just because the guy was like constantly on his tail, and he had an entire police force that like just seemed like everywhere they went, there was somebody there that was on his side that was relaying him back. And so he was not only kind of scary and menacing, he had a lot of connections. Seemed a little bit more realistic, obviously, but I'm okay with that too. I'm okay with El Coyote, the Red Cyclops.
The Red Cyclops. Hopefully, we're not canceled.
I mean, they did it. We're just talking about it. I didn't come up with that. Anyway, I get it, so I'm okay with that. I did like the laugh. I guess in more of a like a spiritual or magical way, it would be a lot scarier. I mean, he did get shot point blank in the chest and come back and to fight, and so there's definitely a little bit more supernatural stuff going on in Firewalker.
And there's also the general in the beginning. When he's hunting them down, leaves them in the desert with just a bottle of water as they're tied down. And I like that he makes an appearance at the end of the movie. And it's just a shame we didn't get more adventures of Max and Leo, because it was so much fun.
Yeah, that was a nice little twist ending there. Like, we meet again. Ah.
Speaking of bad acting.
Yes. Well, in a really weird twist I did not expect, Firewalker takes the win here.
Yeah, I knew I'd be 3-2 Firewalker. I didn't know how the rest of y'all would go, but
he went 3-2 Firewalker, and I went 3-2 Romancing.
Which is funny. One's a small canon film, and one's a big Hollywood production.
Yeah,
but
I blame you weirdos for that though.
Yeah, Kenny hadn't seen Firewalker before last night, I don't think. So
I do think I'm okay with it. Firewalker's a fun film.
Yeah.
It's underrated. It deserves more praise than it got. It's not great, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's a once a year watch for me.
But in all reality, Romancing the Stone is a better film all around. It's a bigger film. I mean,
as a film, yeah, probably.
As a film, it's definitely a bigger. I definitely want to make that point. It's definitely a bigger and probably a better film because just the budget, the acting, everything involved. It's a really good adventure film. Firewalker is an adventure film, but it's
got the buddy thing front.
It's definitely got that buddy thing. Yeah. Where Romancing the Stone does feel more like those mid '80s big time films like the Goonies or something.
Yeah,
would be, it's got that feel to it. Kind of classic, iconic kind of movie. Firewalker's just that underrated kind of sleeper buddy action movie.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments what you would have chosen in this one, and we'll tell you that you were wrong.
Yeah. I love to tell people they're wrong. You know what I mean? Let us know. Make sure you like and subscribe. That way you don't miss anything. We've got Mad Max versus coming up next?
Yeah, the Road Warrior versus Fury Road. In light of the new one, Furiosa, coming out here in just like the next week or so. So it's
really, really, really soon.
So expect a quick turnaround on versus episodes from us.
Yeah, we'll have to do that because we're gonna have to go watch that movie too and do a review on that as well. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.
We're out of here.